scaling up universal newborn hearing screening program in Thailand. Dr. Vilawan, thank you.
Okay, thank you for the introductions and good afternoon, everyone. My name is Vilawan and I come from Thailand. And I will start my presentations with the rationale of our study. Like all of us know about the hearing loss and hearing disability that can be found in the newborn population, both in the high risk newborn group and the normal newborn. So many countries try to develop the early detection process, and we call newborn hearing screening program. Okay, to identify the deafness babies and bring them into the early rehabilitation process, and hope to help or improve their outcome, like a communication skill. And for newborn hearing screening, it have two types of the program. First is a targeted program, or that's for the high-risk newborn group. And another one is the universal program that's for all newborns. For Thailand, most of the hospitals in our country, they provide a targeted program, or it means it's just for the high-risk group, and we will lose some of the deafness baby from the early rehabilitation process. And that's like the problem for our country. Thai Health Authority, they want to improve our implementations from the targeted to the universal program, and that became our questions for this study, like how to scale up or how to expand the universal newborn hearing screening program, or UNHS, in Thailand. So to answer that question, we set the objective to examine the ability of UNHS implementations, and we have like a 4 sub-objective to identify the characteristic, the feasibility, the costing unit, and the economic evaluations of the UNHS program. But for today, we will focus only 2 sub-objectives because of the limit time. Okay, just focus only the characteristic and feasibility of the implementation. So we have 4 key points to collect the data, including the characteristic of the service, the resources or input, M&E system, and the factor that can be the challenge or enable for the implementations. And we use the qualitative method to collect the data, consists of the document review, in-depth interview, and the focus group discussion. We collect the information from the 84 informants from 9 provinces across our country. And these 9 provinces came from the purposive selection method. And we can separate our study site 9 provinces into 2 groups. First is the UNHS group, or the province in the left side of the map. They are the provinces that have UNHS program in the provincial level and willing to join in our study. And for non-UNHS group, they are the province that did not have UNHS program in their province, but they are in the same region and have the similar birth rate with the province in UNHS group. And for our study, we collect the data from the province in UNHS group or in the website first to develop the service model and develop the questionnaire for the feasibility question, and use that model and questionnaire to ask about the feasibility of expanding for the province in non-UNHS group. Okay, let's move to the result part. In this study, we found that all of the provinces in UNHS group, they have the service covered in all process related with the hearing program. And if the patient want to get those service, they can finish it within 1 province or within 1 health region. And the key success of their implementations, they use the network for their implementations. Start with announce the policy about UNHS implementation as the provincial or as the health regional, to convince all of the stakeholders, like the hospital in this area, to join in this program. And after that, they did a survey to identify the distributions of the resources in the area, and like how find where is the unavailable status or faced with the status results, and resolve that problem with the using of the referral system to share the resource between the hospital in the same area. And in the same time, they developed the database that's specific for their area to support the referral system and use in the monitoring. Actually, in Thailand, we have a national guideline for a newborn hearing program, and it recommend all of the newborns should have at least one time of the screening test. And it should be done within 1 month in the quiet room using OAE or AABR. That is the name of the screening tools. And if the baby got refer result, he or she should have a repeat screening again. We call secondary screening. And if the baby got 2 times of refer result, the baby will be sent into the next step we call diagnosis stage in the orange one. And it should be done within 3 months by the audiologist who graduate master degree or upper than that, or the ENT doctor. The interesting point of this flow is about the type of the service that we found in this study. In some area, in some province, we found that they have the community-based service for screening tests, or they send the audiologist to visit at the community in every month and provide a screening test for the baby who was born in that period. And another interesting point is about the hospital-based service. In some areas that's faced with the unavailable tool situations, they resolve the problem by refer the baby to other hospital or circulate the screening tool between the hospital in the same area. And this picture shows the example of the UNHS implementations at Sukhothai province. The blue dot line square, for example, the Sinakorn or Tung Saliang Hospital, the upper blue dot line square. Okay, they are the community hospital or the primary care that do not have the delivery service except the emergency cares. So it means if someone was born there, they will be sent to other nearby hospital. For example, Sawankalo Hospital in the blue square to get the screening. And if the baby got 2 times of the referral result, they will be sent to the next step of the hospital. In this case, it's a Sukhothai Hospital in the red one. Okay. And like I said before about the monitoring system, every province in UNHS group, they have their own sharing database that used between all of the hospital in the same area and also set the indicator for the monitoring system. And for the feasibility result, we found 4 big challenges for Thailand to expand UNHS program in our country. First is a lacking of accountable tool and specialists. Like you can see in this mapping, it shows the distributions of the audiologists across the country. There's half of them are in the Bangkok, and we have 30 provinces across our country that still lack of the audiologists. And the second challenge is about the insufficient service space, especially the quiet room that really important for the screening test. The third challenge about the highly loss of follow-up, because in the past, this service is not free, so it's like a burden for the parents or family. And the last challenge is about the diversity of the database that specific for each area and cannot connect with each other. So back to our questions in the first slide, how to scale up this program. Finally, we have 4 key features to ensure a successful expansion. It includes the first feature, we should have the policy, like a national policy, to support the implementations and also support for the service costs. And we should have the referral system with a clear process and should cover all types of the hospital in Thailand. And we should have the monitoring system like a national level and also the hospital level. And the last thing, we should develop the development plan for staff and to support the distributions of them. And for the last slide, this study still have some limitation that we did not include the patient opinion in our study. But for the strength point, I think we can collect the data coverage in all regions across our country, and the results from this study was used to support the policy making to add the UNHS program in the benefit package of Thailand. And thank you for the presentation. And yeah, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask me.
Thank you for a nice presentation. Just wondering, regarding at the beginning, you talked about the high risk group versus all babies. So, did I understand correctly that the high risk group is already, that program is already happening throughout Thailand for high risk?
Yeah. If you compare in the past before this study begins, many parts of Thailand we already have the targeted program for the high risk group. Yeah, and somebody have a no screening. Yeah, and for now we have a develop of the evaluations of our implementations. We have the half of the province in Thailand already have the universal screening for now. Yeah.
Okay, so essentially both the universal screening and the targeted is not quite fully across Thailand.
Yeah.
But the intent is to have that happen. And do you think there's any way that the ones where it is operational, how can they help the provinces that have yet to be able to establish their programs? Do you think they could play a part?
Yeah, like I said before, if I want to suggest something to the provincial level, I think the networking is really important for Thailand situations because of the scarcest or unavailable situations of the resource, like a specialist and the screening tools. So if they want to start with something, I think start with the connection or the network between the hospital or the stakeholder in the area. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, I think this is a very interesting questions. Scaling in terms of given the limited resources that you have, which is very tricky. Have you considered having, looking at alternative tools or instruments that can be operated by perhaps a non-specialist or that doesn't require a specific facilities, a quiet room, maybe a mobile apps that can be operated by just district nurse into the programs?
Okay. You mean the screening tools or the diagnosis tool?
Yeah, the screening and the diagnosis tool. Yeah.
Okay. Actually, the screening tool, we have two choice, OAE or AABR, or maybe you can use them at the same time to increase the sensitivity. And they both of them they are the automatic tools. So it means just train someone like a nurse, yeah, to use in these tools is okay. Yeah, don't need the specialist like an ENG or the audiologist to interpret the result.
Okay, so so it means that this OAE and AABR can actually be operated by a non-specialist, not by the audiologist who will come monthly.
Yeah, no. Sure.
All right, understood.
I actually just have one general question on, so among all the study sites that you have been conducting the study, any province in particular that seems like more feasible to start scale up the scheme?
From the non-UMHS group, right?
Right.
I think all of them can develop themselves since now. Because for Thailand, we already have like a CUPS model. CUP is the contract unit for the primary care, like a network between the primary care and the secondary or the tertiary care. So we already have this model for other diseases. It just changed and prepare for the screening tools and some specialists like a ENT or the audiologist more. Yeah. So yeah, in my opinion, I think all of them can develop themselves.
Okay, thank you. Other questions from the floor? We still have time for one or two questions. we still have another session to go, so please stay awake. Okay. Okay. Thank you so much, Dr. Vilawan, for excellent
Yeah,
presentation.
thank you.